Now that we have covered the English writing part for the technical writing, we learned that in order to produce a good English technical writing, it is rather challenging for us as the non-native English speaker. There are quite a number of rules that we need to follow, from the tenses to the subject-verb agreement, modal verbs, pronoun reference, passive and active voice, rules of mathematical writings, and we also discuss about the common problem with the sentences, with the punctuations, and with the usage of the words and phrases. We shall proceed our discussions with things that we should do and we should not do for the technical writing. There are do's and don'ts for the technical writing. Let us first look at the do's. There are several things that we need to do in our technical writing, which include be clear, be concrete, be concise, be correct, and be consistent. Let us look into those one by one. You know that technical writing, it will be meaningful to the reader only when the reader is able to comprehend the writings. It is not meant for us to show off how good is our English, how many vocabs that we know, what kind of bombastic words that we can use. We are looking at the practical side of the technical writing, which the purpose of reading your technical writing must be fulfilled. And we are talking about fulfilling the purpose of the reader reading your technical writing to be fulfilled effectively and without any ambiguations. You need to be clear for every statement and every words that you use in the technical writing in order to avoid confusions. First, your selection of the words needs to be as simple as possible, and try to avoid using complex words or phrases which is not common in our daily life and likely to be unfamiliar to those non-native English speakers. Ideally, your technical writing should not require the readers to search for the meaning of certain words that you use from the dictionary. You would like to keep the readers to be engaged with your technical writing at all times and to thoroughly comprehend your meaning. These are a list of the complex words which can actually be substituted with other simpler words. By all means, you should go for the simple words so that all the readers are able to comprehend. I need to be honest here. None of these words here I know the meaning. It is until when I prepare these slides, acquiring for some references, providing the informations on the do's and don'ts for the technical writing. I would prefer myself not to encounter any of these words here, as it will require me to search for the dictionary in order to acquire the full meaning. And you know that as a non-English speaker like me, searching the meanings of certain English words where the explanations given in English is also not that friendly to us. Most likely it's going to end up more new English words which we are not aware of, and we have to search for more words. Most likely, for us as a non-native English speaker, when we need to search for the English dictionary, we will translate it into our mother tongue language. You know that there could be some variations between the translated description and the actual meaning of that particular word. This is going to discount the impact and the actual meaning of that particular word. And I need to be honest also. Normally when I encounter certain complex words which I do not really know the meaning, my first options, it is not to search for English dictionary. I will look at the sentences nearby, either before and after, trying to guess the general meaning of that particular word. That means there is a possibility that my guess is incorrect. This will affect my comprehensions regarding the actual meanings given by the author. It is only when I realize that I truly need to know the exact meaning of that particular word, then I will go and search for the dictionary. I believe most of the reader will have the same reading habit as me. Therefore, this is going to defeat the purpose of presenting technical writings to the reader, especially when your readers need to on and off searching for English dictionary, trying to understand the words before they can understand the content of your writings. With that, I would strongly recommend you always go for the simpler words that ideally 100% of the readers are able to comprehend the actual meaning of the words. Next, you are to avoid writing excessively long sentences. You know that the longer the sentence becomes more complex. There will be more information to be carried within a sentence, and it is likely that there will be structures within structures of the sentence. This will require more effort of the reader to actually look into the structures of the sentence, trying to find the heads and tails of the content. The most ideal situation is that the readers only need to read through your sentence once without any interruptions. Do not require to pause a while to rethink the information within the sentence. That should be your ultimate goal in constructing sentences. Another one is you should avoid overloading your sentences with too many different ideas. Normally, there should only be one idea per sentence. You do not want to distract the readers. You may have a lot of information incorporated within the sentence, which normally appears in the series of informations. If necessary, you will need to structure them in the bullets, but the main idea, there should only be one in the sentence. This is so that the readers can quickly grab the main point within the sentence. You should also avoid using ambiguous language, which there can be more than one meaning, leaving the readers to guess what is the actual intended meaning. This one you need to pay attention, because these are our common mistakes. The sentence may be grammatically correct, and you may also be able to produce a good readable paper. However, the choices of the word, sometimes it will be ambiguous without our notice. These are some examples how the ambiguities can occur in our technical writings. First, it is about the word choice. For example, the flow of water was affected. The sentence here is okay, but now the affected term here is a bit ambiguous, as it doesn't give you information how it is affected. Is it being slowed down, or is it being speed up, or is it being stopped? Therefore, if possible, you clearly state how it is affecting the flow of water. For example, the flow of water was slowed down. Now you know that slowing down is a part of the affecting the flow of water, and it actually slowed down the flow. Next, it will be in the sentence structure. For an example, the memory module was towered to the horizontal positions that require testing. This part that require testing, it is not clear that which it is referring to. Is it referring to the memory module, or is it referring to the horizontal positions? To correct this sentence, it should be the memory module that required testing was lowered to the horizontal positions. Now, it is clear that required testing is referring to the memory module. Next, ambiguities can also occur in the pronouns. For an example, as the receiver presented the radiometer with a high flux environment, it was mounted in a silver plate stainless steel container. Now the term "it" here, is it referring to the receiver, or is it actually referring to the radiometer, or is it referring to the high flux environment? It is not clearly stated. In order to prevent this ambiguity, you may revise the sentence: as the receiver presented the radiometer with a high flux environment, the radiometer was mounted in a silver-plated stainless steel container. Now we know that this "it" here is actually referring to the radiometer. Next, ambiguity can also occur in punctuations. For example, need methanol, need ethanol, methanol and 10% water, and ethanol and 10% water were examined in this study. By looking at this sentence here, it is quite confusing. How many fields being examined? It is quite hard to tell. You may try reading through this sentence several times. You will still not able to reach to the conclusions or a confirmation of the numbers of fields that were involved. In order to rectify this, the sentence can be revised. In this study, the following 4 fields were examined: need methanol, need ethanol, methanol with 10% water, and ethanol with 10% water. Now you know that there are 4 fields were examined. Next, your technical writing needs to be concrete. That means the choice of the word need to be precise. Whichever words that you use needs to be exactly reflecting the meanings that you would like to give to the reader. You need to avoid imprecise or inexact statements. These are some examples of the imprecise statements. The readings were reasonably accurate. What does the reasonably means? It will be better if you give a number to represent it. For an example, 60% of the reading were accurate. Another example, the gear failed because of an excessive number of loop cycles. What does this "an excessive numbers of loop cycles" means? You should provide an exact figure in place of that excessive number. If you do not have an exact number, you may also provide an estimate. This is so that the readers have a clearer idea what does it mean by an excessive numbers of loop cycles. There were millions of data points to be examined. You are talking about millions, which is an extremely large number. Imagine you need to process millions of data points. It seems that your study is extremely big, which is most likely slightly exaggerated. You should avoid exaggerated statements or inflated claims, as they reduce your credibility in your technical writing. You will need to be mindful of the word connotations. Avoid using a word with negative connotations when a neutral or positive connotation is intended. Avoid using a word with negative connotations when a neutral or positive connotation is intended, vice versa. You know that in your writing, you can present certain things in the positive form and in the negative form, as implied by certain specific words. You will need to be careful with those. This is not to mislead the reader with the prior assumptions that when actually you want to present a neutral or positive connotations, that the negative connotations was used, that give an assumption to the reader that you are about to discuss about the negative side. Taking this as an example, the turbulence in the floor enhanced the drag by more than 30%. You know that the drag is actually like slowing down, which is negative connotations in nature. But the term here, enhance, is more towards the positive side. That means there is a contradiction between the positive and negative connotations, which may lead to the confusions of the readers. Therefore, in order to correct that, you may use the turbulence in the floor increase the drag by more than 30%. The increase here is a neutral and the drag is negative. Then you know that the drag is actually increased by 30%. Or you can use another words with the negative connotations, such as the exacerbate.